You say that porn really is part of our culture. It's seeped in there. How has it impacted us?
Well, I think, first of all, if we're going to talk about pornography, I bet many of your viewers aren't actually sure what we're talking about. Because many people tend to have an image of porn, of kind of Playboy 10, 15 years ago, of a naked woman, you know, bending over, coyly smiling in a cornfield.
So what are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about mainstream porn on the internet, the sort of pornography you get if you type porn into Google, which you are now looking at body-punishing, cruel sex, women being gagged with penises, women being roughly penetrated by 3, 4 men, as they're calling her the most awful names and spitting in her face and slapping her and just doing all sorts of really violent, aggressive, demeaning things to her. Now, that's the kind of porn that I talk about in Pornland, because that is mainstream. And when you have advocates from the porn industry like Ron Jeremy, what they want to say is that this is just marginalised and the worst. And they know as well as I do that the main type of profitable pornography today in the industry is body-punishing, hardcore pornography.
Ron?
That has seeped into our culture.
Ron, is that true?
Well, first of all, there's many types of adult films. She's focusing on some of the rougher stuff that's made by some of the companies that do that. Extreme Video, Max Hardcore. But she's not talking about films by Vivid, Metro, Wicked. You know, look at Pirates, the biggest selling film last year. It set Blockbuster as a mainstream movie. There's the majority of porn that I've seen that's in the industry in America is actually much softer than that. She's referring to films made in Europe. You know, and plus also, to add to what you said before, but the Scientific American article, there's also articles on the Washington Post, Newsweek, back in 2007, that said the same thing, that viewing adult material doesn't lead to sexually, you know, outlawish behavior, and in fact, in some ways can calm a person, as you said earlier on the show, a person that would be a possible predator would see an adult film, and as Ruth Westheimer would say, pleasure himself, and maybe not commit the crime. So porn has had that kind of good effect.
The reality is the weight of 30 years of study, without question, is showing that pornography impacts the way men think about women and the way they behave to women.
Ron, do you think that?
No. I mean, because first of all, porn is for 18 and over. By the time you're 18 years of age, you can make all kinds of decisions, go to the army, fight, and die for your country. You know, the impressionable minds are minds that are under 18. And they've often said that video games, or kids play these violent video games, have much more of a detrimental effect than an adult watching an X-rated movie.
No, they don't.
Also, a lot of women, hold on, guys. Women, also, what she's forgetting to tell you is that, say, 50% of all porn is produced and directed by women. Most women have their own websites.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Ron?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a new study out. There's a new study out that actually compares the pornography produced by women versus the pornography produced by men. It's just been published in a peer-reviewed journal, and what they find is pornography produced by women is actually slightly more violent and demeaning than that produced by men. So that has absolutely cuts no cloth. Also, the vast majority of consumers today are still men. I think less than 20% of consumers, they reckon, of pornography is women, and that's not the hardcore pornography that they're consuming.